A taste. A taste. Test, test, test. Okay, there we go. Welcome back, everybody. Okay. Let's clean off my glasses real quick. I'm a little quiet. Hold on. How's that? Is that better? Not really. Interesting. I don't know what's going on here. I feel like every time I adjust my microphone, something happens. It just goes away. It's been one of those weeks. Try to appease everybody, and I feel like I just let everybody down. This is no good. No good. Today's got to be a amp day where we do fun stuff. Needs to be chill. Okay. Where's my pen? We're drawing some rugbies. That's what we're doing today. We're going to draw some rugbies. We're going to have a good time. Let's do something like that. It feels like a Friday. It is not a Friday. I need to mow my yard today. So warm up the rugby sketch. Oh, for cripe's sakes. There we go. Might help if people could actually see what I was drawing. That'd be nice. Oh, shenanigans. Shenanigans. It's definitely one of those days. Nothing's quite worked out yet. Boom, boom. Do da 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 do da da do. Why did that get put over here? Put that over here. There we go. I'm working on a bug design. It's stuck in my head a little bit. So I kind of want to sketch that out a little bit before we start here, since I don't have too many people in the chat yet. And then we'll do the viewer suggestion, like we normally do on Wednesdays. I want to have little head pinchers, but maybe they should go up instead of down. It's supposed to be based off of a vinegar rune, which is like a scorpion. Maybe they should go up. Maybe that's the problem I'm having. Just make them real big. Little claws. Big old weird noodly appendages. Kind of like that idea. Maybe I'll go with that. I dig it. I dig it. Okay. Fresh eyes on old ideas. It's always the best way to go. Gotta say it, boy. Is everybody still playing Elden Ring? Is that what's going on? Or is it just that we're on time? Kind of bug were you thinking about basing the design around? I was thinking about like a vinegar rune. I think the vinegar rune's pretty cool. Where's my audio? What's happening here? Why is the music so loud today? Holy crud. That's so weird. I'll open up Windows Media Player, and then, yeah, now it's super quiet. It will, like, not know how loud to make it until I click it. So I'll have it at, like, 5% when it opens, and until I click on it to make it 5%, it's at 100% volume. So strange. So strange. But yes, Vinegar Rune. Vinegar Rune is what I wanted to go with. It's supposed to be a creature that has like a ranged attack and a melee attack, and like that sounds pretty scorpionish. Have it spit acid or something. How are you today? Oh, man. Yeah. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Getting a little more shape, a little more volume in there. Got some nice big round shapes going on. That's pretty cool. I like that. When I think of bugs with noodly appendages, the Bedfont moth comes to mind. I don't think I've seen anything do that one before. That would be pretty cool. I could look at that. Is that the one with the big weird like inflatable butt thing? Yeah, nice. That's a good one. I'll keep that one in my thoughts. Let's get this tired rugby sketched out. And we'll start drawing stuff. Maybe a cool helmet or something. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I like that idea. Moth Knight. Moth Knight would be good. I started making cursed items for the YouTube shorts, and then I realized that the Griffin saddlebag is basically already doing that, but better. It's just like, dang it. know if they're making cursed items, though. I'm going to have to look at that. I'm going to keep this concept. I think this is a good concept. So we're going to save that for later. Let's start doing a suggestion. Have you put one in this week? Kasarik? If you have a character you'd like to draw, let me know. Otherwise, I will just roll the dice. First one in chat, it's a free suggestion. That could be a fun. Actually, we should gamify that. First people in chat. First people to throw a super chat. First people to like to see your take on trolls, though. Anything has something different. Everyone has something different. Yeah, I could do a troll. That'd be fun. Let's do a little troll. I was a big Warcraft troll fan. Well, I mean, I still am. But so I still dig the kind of like gangly trolls, but like the Pathfinder trolls are also really fun because they have like just the mouth, zipper mouth goes all the way down. I've been watching a lot of Monster Garden lately. He has some cool concepts. Ooh, I'll have to check that out. That sounds familiar. I think I'm already following them, but yeah. Let's draw a quick troll here. Oh. Angry tiny man. My big contention with trolls every time I draw them is whether or not to give them tusks or like put the tusk on the upper or lower jaw. That's where I always struggle. Because like part of me wants to do something that's like tiny skull and then big lower jaw. Big lower jaw tusks. But upper jaw tusks are cool too. So I've been playing with that. Same thing with orcs. I've been trying to find a good way to like have an orc skull. Maybe just give them like huge teeth. But then where do you put the tusks? That's always the question. Where do you put the tusks? A lot of trolls mix one with a walrus to see how it turns out. We got the walrus hunger. I don't know what it was about the Warcraft trolls, but like, just the tusks were awesome. I really dug it. Really dug them. I also like the idea that trolls can be really smart, but they're all real dumb because they just keep getting like eaten by each other. Like if you break the brain of a troll, it regrows, but then they just kind of forget everything. Tommy, welcome in. I think underbite or overbite can give a lot of personality. Yeah. They're so clean and distinct. Yeah. I agree. Which is why like the Pathfinder trolls are so funny to me. Because they're just like flappy jawed. Ah. Almost like alligator people. But yeah, there's some good ones from Magic the Gathering too. Trolls are almost slimes. They're just meat slimes. which is really weird to think about. Insatiable hunger. The other thing that got me about the trolls in Warcraft are the Mohawks, because I had a Mohawk for probably 20 years. And I dig them. Can you imagine if your body just regenerated instantly, how much, like, how buff you could get? Just lift way too much, heal, lift way too much again. And that's the Wolverine model, right? Have an 800-pound adamantine skeleton and just exist. Trolls without the big nose look too orky. Makes sense. Don't know how I would design one. Yeah, they're tough. Warhammer Fantasy has good trolls. I haven't seen the Warhammer trolls. Do you think I would? How much Warhammer stuff people post in chat? Do you think I would have seen them? Maybe I have and I just didn't notice. I also like the idea that the trolls are just like corrupted elves. That makes me happy. I guess orcs are corrupted elves in Tolkien universe. What if trolls are just like elf and Hydra mixes? Half Hydra elves. Makes sense to me. Some more squinch in there. There we go. The ribs don't bend. Ribs don't bend. I mean, they do, but not on the body. Ribs are static. And the hips bend. Spine bends to the hip. That's what it should say. Hunger incarnate. Insatiable hunger. I kind of like the idea that trolls, like the other way to kill a troll would be to starve it. But then if like, I don't know. Are there regenerative properties based on the hunger, or does it cause the hunger? If they don't get eat, do they just wither? Like, what happens? The legend, welcome in. Warcraft trolls aren't corrupted elves. Elves are mutated trolls. Okay. Unchanged by magic. Nice. Yeah, how would trolls combat trolls? That's a good question. You think they would use more fire and stuff. But maybe that's like uncouth. Maybe it's disrespectful to, you know, don't use weapons of war against other people you don't want them using on you. How it's like kind of improper to use poison. For entrapments instead of wounding, yeah. Troll nets. Restrictive troll nets. Mouth, like, what are those things? Muzzles? Don't let them eat so they get weak. That works for anybody, though, I guess. Not just trolls, but... Seems like a good place to start. Good place to start as any, I suppose. Then again, maybe certain things take longer to heal than others. Like, getting hit with a club probably doesn't do anything to a troll. Unless you can, like, addle it. But, like, maybe that's why they have tusks. Maybe tusks are the best way to do it. Because, like, just gore something, and then that's really hard to heal. Early access for the new Final Fantasy expansion comes out tomorrow. I'm excited. I have so much work to do, though. I don't know how much I'm going to get to play it. I'll figure something out. War control's really cool. It just makes me so sad how many LS they take. Oh, how L's they take. Okay, Warcraft stories. Vol'jin got done dirty. Oh, yeah. Vol'jin should have gotten a whole expansion of just being the best war chief that ever existed. To be fair, he was pretty awesome for the, like, 6 minutes he was war chief. But he might have been a good war chief because he was the only one that didn't really want to be the war chief. I did a Why You Should Play Trolls video. I like the art I did for that one. That one's pretty cool. Very long arms. Very similar to this, actually, but the Troll Heritage Armor Quest was pretty underwhelming as well. Yeah. Yeah, Warcraft has not done well for their writing in the last few expansions, so the new one, I'm not going to play it, but I'm hoping they're, you know, breaking away from form. Letting their creative team actually have some fun instead of trying to monetize everything to death. Let's do that. Let's put the other leg out here. This would be like that, and then that, and then we have a big leg right here. We have this foot over here like this. I think that's probably a good place to call it here. Troll. Big old troll. Just too much muscle. Too much muscle, want to eat everything. Big meaty gobs to go grab nom 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 nom. You like old school Warcraft stuff? Yeah. Vengeance for Zul'jin. Hell yeah. You're so fast, it's nuts. I mean, this is what I do all the time. I do lots of sketches. When I do actual like commissions, this is like stage 1. I would then do this probably 2 more times to clean it up and do a full piece. So I'm getting pretty quick, I think, at the quick sketches, which are good. But there's a lot of messy stuff in here. So, but thank you. It's something I work for constantly. We'll get an arrow stuck out of him. I feel like an arrow stuck on a troll is like a badge of honor. Because, like, it'll work itself out. It's fine. What was the Nimona quote? Like, I'm not people? I'll have to look that up. People don't just have arrows stuck in them. I'm not people. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Dun, 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 dun. We are here for D&D, but also video games and art. If you have art questions or D&D questions or just want to shoot the shit, feel free. Feel free to ask me stuff. That's what we're doing today. We're talking and things. That's how podcasts work. I don't know what I'm doing. I like the way older Warcraft art looked compared to newer stuff. Worgen went from being menacing to looking like cute doggos. It's just a bit weird. The original art for all the Warcraft stuff was like pen and ink, which was really cool. And the newer stuff has all been like really high-end fidelity rendered art. I have some in front of me right now, actually, that I'm looking at, yeah. And so it went from like a comic book style to like just its own different thing. So I don't think the new art is bad, but it definitely like I still have the old original Warcraft game manual, like the big book strategy guide thing for Warcraft 1, because the art is awesome in it. So the char from Guild Wars, yeah, the char from Guild Wars are a thing. I don't know where they were going with that. They're like, what if gnolls but with horns and maybe lion people? It's like, all right, that's a choice. They just grabbed all of the like furry tropes they could and crammed it into one race. I'm sure someone was very happy that the Wargar got made, though. Okay. Yep, I'm done with that. Let's roll some dice. So the way this works is if you haven't suggested something, you can suggest it and I'll put it on the list. We roll the dice decide what we draw, and there we go. 5. High elf cleric with severe scarring, so he wraps his face with bandages and partially hides his armor under a large cloak. Okay, well, I can do that. So we're basically doing like a bandaged or wrapped cleric. But if we're hiding the armor and the cloak, we're basically just going to have a cloak with a cloak and a bandaged-faced elf. Let's do it. Let's do it. The new art isn't bad. It's just much softer and lighter toned than I prefer. Yeah. We got cute face options now. Cursed. I think what really happened is, like, Warcraft 1 was in all honesty, kind of pixelated just because of like the resolution of the game. So you had basically only the portrait art to define what was happening. Why can't I draw? What's happening? There we go. So like you had your picture and you had your orc with his big derpy underbite and his Hawaiian hat for some reason. Like he's got a straw hat. Don't ask me what that's about. That's just what it looked like. And then you had this from the top down, like big shoulders. Schwobu. He had a sword and a shield. I guess he had an axe. The humans had the shoulders, the swords. But then when Warcraft 3 came out, they started using the 3D assets. Where can we put a submission? You can just post it right here in the chat, and then I will add it to the list for you. Otherwise, normally on Mondays, I put up a list on the YouTube community post. So you can put it on there, and then I'll transfer that to the list on Wednesdays. But now, since it's Wednesday, just put it in the chat. When Warcraft 3 came out, they started having the 3D models, and so they started drawing the characters based on the 3D models, because then they could pose them and then draw over them, I think. And that's when Warcraft really took on that like kind of bulky, chunky feel. And then that transferred from Warcraft 3 into Lich King into WoW, of just trying to keep the aesthetic of the game and the art the same. And now they've gone like, what if we just keep refining it and don't worry about the polygons anymore? And that's where things looks like really soft now. Which is good. It's good art. It's just different. Lights her cigarettes with her horns. Are her horns on fire? I will put it on the list for you. Having 3D models sounds nice. Yeah, you could do that. I know a couple people that do their, like a lot of their, instead of like I do the quick sketches, they'll do 3D model poses and stuff, and then just use those as like their base sketches. Why can't I paste? There we go. Okay, it's on the list. They smolder. Gotcha. Okay. I don't know if I want to do a cloak. Because it's a cleric, I think we can get away with like maybe a neck, like a coif, or a, what the hell it's called. We'll get a little Batman in here. Go real dark. Real dark on the eyes. The Invisible Man. Look out on the channel. Thank you, Hephaestus. I appreciate that. I would like to get a little bit of shape, because I feel like clerics should have armor on, even though they don't all get it. I think I play my clerics like paladins, and my paladins like oracles. There's definitely something wrong with the way I look at it. But I just want to play an armored priest. What's wrong with that? with a sword. I think we can do a little bit better on this. I think we do a little better. Let's try again. I still like the dark eyes, so we'll probably keep that. Define the eyebrows a little bit better. Favorite D&D class and race? Human cleric, human fighter, something like that. I'm a big fan. Human cleric is really fun, but I play them a little bit like a fighter. Bear monk is always a solid choice. If you can play a bear monk, play a bear monk. Yeah, cleric's great. I love Pathfinder and like 3.5 clerics with their channel energy. That was always one of my favorite things. Bear monk sounds awesome. Yeah. Instead of taking multi-attack as a polar bear, you could just take flurry of blows, and it's the same thing. It's great. Something like that. That looks pretty good. Max, welcome in. Just drawing stuff. Drawing elves, as you do. Bandage elves. Favorite class is Warlock, nothing more varied, yeah. I really feel like Warlock and Sorcerer kind of got weird in 5e. Because they both are essentially... they should just be additives for any other class. Like Warlock and Cleric feel pretty similar. Flavor-wise, like choosing a deity versus... Or Paladin, I'm sorry. Warlock and Paladin feel pretty similar. So you could just be a Paladin and have a demonic Warlock pact. And I think the Warlock pack should just be like a feat tree that you can add on to anybody, which would be pretty neat. Because then you still you get cantrip casting, that's cool, and then you get like 1 or 2 additional spells, and that's it. And then just the features kind of change as you level up. I think that's really cool. I think that would make Warlock really awesome if Warlock was just like a subtype or a subclass. I think that would be a lot of fun. If the list of characters suggested is not full, can I request Barbarian Orc with glasses? Yeah, we'll put a Barbarian Orc with glasses on there. So the way this works is I put things on the list, and then we roll the dice, and then we'll draw them today and on Wednesday or Friday. And if they don't get drawn then we make a new list, and you can post it again next week. But right now we have 20 things to draw, and we'll just go for there. Was that a barbarian? Like it says barbarian. Berber like sheep, bear like bear, or just barbarian orc? Does it matter? Warlock is really good as a multi-class class, and that's where it shines the most. Exactly, yeah. That's why I think there's really no reason not to dip Warlock in 5e, and that's why I think it should really just be a subclass or a sub feature, like feat tree. Because there's really no reason not to take it. It's too good. Because all of the negatives of it are supposed to be RP. And I haven't seen a lot of people deal with it that way. So you make it a curse. My favorite class is either Druid, Paladin, Fighter, or Rogue. That's a lot of classes. Yeah. So you like melee, is what I'm hearing. Melee with a little bit of magic. Did I just accidentally make Piccolo? I think I made Piccolo. Pulling a bow, that might be a little hard. We'll see what we can do. Is it just a coyote or is it like a kitsune? I usually don't take pose references or pose requests because it's a little too restrictive and people try to abuse it, but I'll see what I can do with it. Are all of these white? Is that what's going on? No, it's just weird. All right. In-game items. Yeah, that's what I usually do too. It's like taking a multi-classing usually requires some kind of RP interaction. Yeah, the Paladin and Warlock combo, I think they work really well because they're very similar, like for where they're getting their power, but to do both doesn't make a lot of sense because they are kind of the same. I would usually say one or the other, but there's no reason you couldn't do both. There's no reason you couldn't. It's just yeah, you might lose one or the other very easily. Yeah, getting a lot of things early adds to other classes. Yeah, that's the thing with Warlock. Really, you only need like 2 or 3 levels in it, and you're good to go. Like, it doesn't really have anything extra beyond that you wouldn't get from another class. Basically, just cantrip casting in general is it's a good thing. And honestly, the way they built it out in 5e, like it, the reason I say that like there's no reason not to take Warlock is because that's really how all cantrips should work. And in Pathfinder 2nd edition, they did start leaning that direction. So basically, everybody's a Warlock. If you take a feature, you get a Warlock focus point. That's great. It works really well. So I think 5e could lean into that pretty easily without much loss. Of just like the class Warlock not existing. It's like, yeah, you don't need it. You can be anything and then add your Warlock to it. And I think that would be fine. Because you could be a Witch, you could be a Warlock, or a Paladin, you could be a Cleric, and then you want a Familiar? Yeah, Pact of the Chain. You make a deal with a Demon, now you have a tiny Familiar. Like, that's great. That's awesome. It shouldn't be stuck to Warlocks. I think it very much is a lot of good flavor that's just missing from some other classes. I don't remember what class this guy was. He was an elf with scars. Cleric. He was a cleric. Okay. I remember now. That's what we were talking about clerics for. Now I want to give him big bulky armor. Coyote, not a kitsune, and it doesn't have to be pulling a bow. Sorry, I don't know exact rules. Yeah, so it's just a coyote, like an actual coyote being a ranger. That's awesome. We'll figure something out for that. If the dice gods permit it. That's always the catch. I think clerics need more staffs. We need more cool, like the healing staff is great. We need more cool quarter staffs for clerics. Friar Tuck style. Whip him with a stick. Warlock getting to level 5 allows for Thirsting Blade. That's a second attack action, so you can get 3 actions without being a fighter at level 10. Wow. Yeah, but you could just take War Fighter and be awesome. Because don't you get 2 attacks with a fighter at level 5 anyways? So then you could just... Is Thirsting Blade a... I actually don't know what Thirsting Blade is, because that doesn't seem right. Your luck is trash. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Maybe his hands should just be wrapped too, instead of with gloves. Maybe he's just got the bandages everywhere. I've made his arm way too long. That's why this looks funny. He's got super longo arms. Sometimes 3 actions is enough, and what you want is the ability that other classes can give by Thirsting Blade as an evocation if you go Pact of the Blade. Gotcha. See, because like that's the other thing with like Pact of the Blade could just be a sword curse. Like you could just let someone be whatever level they want. Don't multi-class. Just give them a cursed sword. It gives them warlock powers. Done. They piss off their quote unquote pact deity. The sword gets mad at them, right? Like that's awesome. I love that. And it just fundamentally makes the game better. Like having that as an option, right? Like instead of having to like figure out the multi-class, it's just like here's some cool shit. But I'd also be fine with if you wanted to do that with like a druid as well. You could very easily give somebody like a spirit, a tree spirit or something, like a dryad that gives them druid powers so they can like transform and stuff without taking any of the druid spells. I love that kind of stuff. I love using class features for items and curses and things like that. I think that's great. Okay, I think I'm about done with this guy. I drew that really small. I'm sorry. I was zoomed in the entire time. That's my bad. That's my bad. Whoop. How's that? Should we put something on the staff? I feel like we should. Give him like a... oh, like a broken crescent. Something like that. Actually, I kind of like it. It's just a circle. Make it like a ring staff. Those are pretty cool. Like trying to convince your DM that you could have it depending on your DM. Honestly, that is awesome. It's not a lot of DMs are out for it. Yeah, I think part of my ability to do that kind of stuff is because I've been a DM for so long, and like I'm usually the DM. So when I come up with crazy ideas, it's like, who am I going to do this to? not something I want to do for myself. And I think that kind of sparks a little more trust in your players and in other DMs. Because when it's a player like, I think my bard should have a bazooka. It's like, no, that's not cool. But when you're thinking about like leveling something up for somebody else, it's a little easier to balance things because you're not thinking about how it's going to actually affect you. It's like, how fun would this be? That's what I want to check. Would someone enjoy this? Okay, I think I'm done with this guy. Let's move on to the next one. Nice. 13. This says female Triceraton gladiator. I guess that's a Triceratops person. I have no idea what that's from. But we can try it. We gotta look up the Triceratops. They're orange-based Triceratop people with warrior culture. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay, cool. Got them weird beak things going on. I'd love to go back in time and see that like all the dinosaurs were like fluffy and fat. It'd be really funny. Or had like lavish sets of hair, heads of hair. That would also be really funny to me. Yeah, honestly, say I might do too. Forever DM at one of my tables, I let them do most things because how fun would it be? I imagine that that's the story of a book of how to enthrall the readers. Yeah. I was talking about this the other day about one of the people I play with. That because I usually DM, but then every now and again they DM, and we have different writing styles. And I think that when they write a story, they're writing a story from an outside perspective, kind of like if you were writing a TV show where someone is just watching. And so their story points and like where things hit feel like, oh, that's interesting from an outside perspective, but for the player or the character, it's like it's not really rewarding. It doesn't feel good sometimes. So I'm kind of wondering if there's a way to like writing a story. I don't know how mine are either. I'm kind of looking at it from just their perspective. If there's a way to make sure you're writing for the players in mind. How can I make this story feel good for the players, not just observers? And part of that's like Deus Ex moments and dropping secrets and things that basically there's no way for the players to figure out. It's just something you have to wait for the story, like the plot, to kind of catch up to. Which, once again, makes total sense if you're an outside observer, like watching things unfold. The way you use hatching is so visually pleasing. Thank you. I've been trying to get better at it. And I've been looking at a lot of like Steve Sketches does some really, really cool work, and like Frank Frazetta and Wayne Reynolds. Those are probably the three people I look at the most for art. Okay. What would make this look like a gladiator? That's the question. That's the question we gotta answer. I think they said female, but like I don't know if a female Triceratops would look different. Do we add the boobas? Let's give him like a big gladiator pauldron here. Let's throw something like that out there and put some spikes on it. One pauldron is classic? Yeah, I think so. It's TMNT, so probably Booba. That's fair. You know what? I kind of want to do that. I want to give them like if they're a gladiator, they got to do. Excuse me. Woo! Wasn't ready for that. Performance combat, and nothing makes performance combat look better than a big Fushi like headdress. Gotta have feathers or something, just like whew, going off. Thank you. Add muscles that kind of look like boobas. Yeah, we could do that. We'll just keep it tasteful. We'll keep it tasteful. I think we might raise this shoulder up a little bit. This might just end up being just the portrait. I don't think I need to, like, move too far down here. Talk about it like everyone in the know, like everyone's in the know, but like it also is a way it seems unimportant. DM question: how do you hint about a piece of a story without revealing too much? Yeah, that's tough. That is tough. I think part of it for me is NPCs. Like, I like to drive. Sorry, I don't know why I said it like that. I said drive, but I meant drive. I like to drive my storylines through third parties. So, like, you can talk to an NPC that's just like a shopkeeper, and they'll give you information about the world around you. And it might be something just kind of like passive or offhand that people don't quite pick up on. And unless people really pick at it, they might get lost. And I've had that happen a lot more often than not, so I definitely need to work on that a little more. But I love environmental storytelling, whether it's like wanted signs on posts or like people just walking by saying things or overhearing things in bars. Yeah, so I think the hard part is trying to make it seem important. Because it's the opposite effect is the mentioning the chair, right? And then all of a sudden everybody's enamored with the chair. It's like, well, it's the only information you gave them. So if the only thing you ever tell them is like, oh, you see a button on the wall, they're going to interact with the button. So you really just have to find a way to... I don't like burying it, right? It's like, I'm telling you this because it's important. So that's one way you can just kind of embrace that effect. You overhear something at the bar that you think is important, and then you say what it is. It's not a direct, like, the bad guy is right here. You can drop hints that are maybe a little cryptic. And then if you ask somebody about it, they'll tell you what it is. Like, oh yeah, there's people down at the docks. There's not usually people down there. It's really weird, and I don't like it. They make me mad that they're down there. And then you as the player's like, I'm going to go check it out. It's like, no, people shouldn't be at the dock. Right? Like, you can direct your players to go somewhere without just being like, the bad guy is there. The door is hidden right there. But I tend to not, if something is important to the story that I want to tell somebody, don't hide it. Just don't hide it. Don't let them miss it. Have somebody figure it out. Bring NPCs with you so they can guide the players if they start getting like way off track. Could also have one of two horns that goes above the brow be damaged. Might look cool. Oh, do they all have the horns above the top? We could do that. Oh, Triceratops, right? Derp. I put it up here. I gave him the big head crest. I forgot about the horns. A dual Teratops. Thanks for the advice, DM. D&D thinks so much about NPCs this way. Awesome. Yeah. We've run into some problems with, and this is one of the reasons that I like using NPCs, but also like we've failed with them so often that like I have some good and bad stories for them. Because the trick is like you don't want an NPC to one just do everything for your party, but you also don't want your party to hate them. Like they need to be monoblows from Monster Hunter. Okay, that's probably what I was thinking about. Your NPC needs to be with the party in a way that they can give information, but needs the party, right? So if your NPC is just like, I can get you into this dungeon, it's like, then why don't you just go in the dungeon yourself? Like, that doesn't make sense. So, I'm here for this one part, and then if you guys convince me to stay, great, and if not, then you're on your own. Like, there's a whole bunch of little stuff you can do like that, but for the most part, it's just a lot of being cool. Being cool for the party. Be generous. Don't be stingy. Be excellent. Okay, I think I'm done. I think I'm done with this one. This one turned out pretty good. Okay. Let's get a little more. Nope, I don't want that line there. That shoulder pad is just attached to the bustier. I don't know what you would call it. A breastplate, I guess. If you're a gladiator, yeah, use just a breastplate. That's fine. No one's going to stop you. Man, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles just, like, go hard on muscles. Just, like, doesn't make any sense, and it's great. What if 90% muscle? On top of muscle. Yeah. Alright, let's do it. Let's roll some dice. Here we go. Make sure that the knock is part of the solution, not the answer. I think you meant NPC, I assume. Make sure the NPC is part of the solution, not this. Yeah. Yeah, because, like, I think there's a lot of players, myself included, that just kind of anticipate betrayal. And so you can always do that. Have your NPCs, like, be selfish and, like, I'm just going to use this party until I can get rid of them. That's fine. Like, that's kind of tropey, but it's fine. The other thing I like to do is just, like, make them someone that they want to keep around so that if anything does happen to them, the party cares about it, because there's nothing worse than like having an NPC and then like, oh no, a boulder's gonna fall on the party's like, we don't care, we don't give a shit about that guy. So so I think it's much better if the party is enamored with the NPCs than not. A Hydra Dragonborn fighter, Eldritch Knight. Well, that means I gotta draw multiple dragon heads, I think. Maybe not. Would the Dragonborn have multiple heads, or would it have like Hydra heads? Ooh. We're drawing lots of lizards today. I once gave the party a level 2P character when they were level 10. Ooh, that's dangerous. That's like that's a bad drop away from disaster. What do hydras look like? The problem with the hydras is like they have the long neck, right? And so I don't know if I've ever drawn a dragonborn with a long neck. That makes them look like a lizard folk. I remember the D&D hydras are pretty spiky. So we could probably do like 3 heads. I think we could probably get 3 heads on this body. I feel like hydras have the same problem as trolls. Like, you could probably have a very well-mannered, long-lived troll, so long as no one's ever cut off his head. So if you had a Hydra with one head, it would probably be really smart and really old. But then as soon as you cut off its head, you have a 2 or 3 headed Hydra that's real dumb. It was a lot more fun when it sounded because it gave the party a sense of urgency every time they fought because they didn't want to kill the enemy fast enough that the level 20 tank could die. They didn't kill the enemy fast enough to level 20. Gotcha, okay. Oh, you gave them a level 20 character. Okay. Gotcha. I thought he was 2P. I didn't know what you meant by that. That's interesting. So having them in the party is just like super amping it up. That's interesting. I'm sure everybody's seen the D&D meme of Tiamat that looks like a Hydra. Where it's just like grumpy face, derpy face. I think it's Tiamat. It might be a Hydra. I've made a kobold. Hydra. That's not good. This was not my intent. What have I done? I might keep this. I might just go with it. Kobolds are kind of dragonborn. One way or the other. This one's going to have its tongue sticking out. A bit. This goes back to the troll thing again, though. Are Hydras plant, animals, or mushrooms? Because I kind of feel like, once again, if they regenerate like that, they're technically a slime. Which would make them kind of a mushroom or a goo. If you cut off a Hydra's leg, does it get more legs? Like, is that where basilisks come from? Did anyone ever explain what a Hydra was? Do we know? Is it like Greek lore about the Hydra? One of the gods wanted infinite chicken wings and just fucked up real bad. Making the party feel like a character is a piece and not a win button. Making that character, I assume, is how you should make the NPCs to help the party. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. That's a good way to think about it. They can't be depriments, right? Like, that's the problem. If they're in the way, then they shouldn't be there. That being said, there could be... What's the protect the president? I think is the other... Like, you're basically... Are you doing an escort quest? Or are you... Are you hiring somebody to help you? Like, do they feel like they need to hire you? Those are the questions you kind of have to ask if you're playing as an NPC. The Mushroom Hydra sounds awesome. Yeah, I feel like they should be. I feel like they should just be classified as mushrooms or... Because, like, their physical form doesn't seem to be that important. From now on, I'm going headcanon as Hydras existed as, like, nature unbound. And some elf got frisky with it, and now we have trolls. They're like, hey, stop doing that. There's just one elf that, like, is the progenitor to all half races. It's just like, it's my life goal as an immortal being to just bang everything once. Okay, hear me out. If you're a Hydra Dragonborn and somebody cuts off your head, do you keep your own skull and use it as a belt? I mean, like, you made it. I guess that'd be like making a belt out of toenail clippings. That's kind of gross. Sorry for that image in people's heads. What was the actual prompt for this? I got lost. Hydra Dragonborn Fighter Eldritch Knight. Okay, yeah. So we do need a cool ass weapon. We're going to go for the big falchion. A falchion! I had a chance in a non-D&D game who is sort of a dinosaur lady. Nice. Character in a non-D&D. She can shed her own scales and actually make some armor out of them. That's cool. Can you do that if you raise lizards? Can you just wait for them to shed, or is it not as good? I guess it's just the outer layer, right? Probably couldn't make an alligator handbag out of shed skin. Do alligators shed their skin? Ooh. These are the questions. These are the questions that nobody asked. Dun, 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 dun. Good point of environmental storytelling. Instead of saying, hey, I need you guys to go slay a dragon in the mountains, say, hey, a bunch of sheep have gone missing in the mountains. It's got to be something big, as it's eating a lot of them. The townsfolk are worried. Go check it out. They get there. They start finding dragon scales, right? Now they've started piecing things together without you just being like, it's a blue dragon. Because even if they find, like, bronze dragon scales, they might not know it's bronze dragon scales. They might think it's like a yellow dragon or equivalent. Alligator skin shed. Yes, they shed, but the scales do not overlap, so it doesn't come off in one piece. Got it. Thank you. Like fish scales. Understood. So you could sew them back together, but that would not be as interesting. Or maybe it would. Definitely use one of your 5e. It's nice. Can't remember what yellows are. Is that the fear dragons? Oh, the derpy one? Yeah, it's good. I think I like the derpy one too. Yellow dragons were desert dragons. They use a mixture of hot sand and air. That's right. I think I have fought one of those in a game before. Like Sand Blast. Sand Blast your party. Okay. I think I'm going to call this one good. I hate whatever I just added there. That's not good. There we go. Gotcha, giant ant lions. That makes sense. Alright, let's call that one good. It is 12:30. We can do a couple more here. Oops. 4. We're rolling low today. A muscular painted orc. He wears fishnet shirt and scars all over his body. Okay. This one feels... This one feels weird to me, but I'll do it. Because we were talking about orcs earlier. Wait, say that again. Yeah. Big beefy orc with fishnet shirt and scars. There was not a class given with this, I don't think. Let's look again. Yep, a muscular painted orc. So, technically a monster, I guess. But, so no class given. Painted orc would be from Tolkien, though. Why would a Tolkien orc be wearing fishnets? Gives me Predator vibes. The movie Predator. Wow. Yeah. Welcome to the internet. This is how the viewer suggestion goes sometimes. Do something like that. I'm drawing some beefy boys today. Beefy boys and lizards. You all right, kiddo? Sleeping. Maybe this is the wrong pose. No. Nope, I hate all of this. Hold on. Uh-oh. child awakens. One second, everybody, hang tight. His hair is a top knot? Yeah. Gotta be a top knot. Grumpy boy. I like the orc top knot. I don't know why. I think it just works really well with, like, if you elongate the face, because then it gives the spiky orc head. Huh. What else was this supposed to be besides? There wasn't really a lot here. Was there? Fishnets and scars are going to be weird because essentially it's just making me draw a lot of lines. Because we don't color, it's going to be a little strange. We'll start giving him some cuts up here, I guess. A whole bunch of scars. Big old teeth, yeah. Big old teeth, big old meaty man mitts. I like the idea that orcs wield like two-handed dwarven weapons with one hand. I think that's fun. Just like unnecessarily large stuff. Hell, maybe this is a... it might just not fit. Yeah, that'll work. Make it a big hook sword. Not a hook sword, but like a... whatever the hell these are called. I don't know what these are called. Temple swords? I don't know if they ever actually existed, but I like them. Oops. So what I want to do is this. They shouldn't have their own curve. Fishnetting is weird. Uh-oh, can't go back that far. Because essentially it should just pull straight. I gotta look it up. Yep. Yep. Fishnet shirts are just an excuse to be naked without being naked, right? Up. Technically wearing a shirt. Too much muscle. Too much muscle is just the right amount for an orc. When in doubt, a little more. Just a little more muscle. You think you're done? No. A little bit more. Okay, and then scars. Scars everywhere, right? That's too much. I did actually go too much on that one. The bicep needs to come up, and then this one will go down like that. There we go. And then this line is slightly wrong. This line should come around like this. Yes. Okay. I'll put some more scars in here, which don't make sense because of the fish netting, but that's fine. They become illegible, not legible. We'll raise this one up a little bit too. More scars. I guess if I painted him, it might be a little better. But I'm not going to do that. I don't have time. Alright, this one was really sketchy, but we're going to go with it. I think we're going to call that one good. Boom. Orc. Rolling the dice. 2. Failed artificial... Oh, okay. failed artificial combined dragonborn fighter, a man with a green dragon head on his right arm. Each their own person. Here we go. I feel like we're just building on the same stuff we drew earlier. Okay, another two-headed character. Here we go, here we go. So if it's a dragonborn now, does it have a dragon head and a dragon arm? What makes it artificial? Is it a robot? I'm a little confused by this one. What does a green dragon look like? Spiky? I think they're spiky. Dun, 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 dun. Let's find it good. I need a good pose that'll show off the arm. The head of a goat and the arm of a dragon. I just keep thinking of the Elden Ring boss. What's his name? I want to say like Elric or Auric or something. Bear witness. Talking about the desert dragon we talked about like an hour ago? Godric, yeah, there we go. This does say a person, like a man, so I assume it's a human. And because it's failed, I assume it's not pleasant. There's a snoring cat next to me. Struggling. Might just be time to call it. I mean, I'm going to finish this one, but I think my brain is stalling out. Which happens, you know? Stream for a little bit. We drew some cool stuff. I want to draw a hood. But it's not working the right way. What kind of personality would a dragon arm have? Would it just be a normal dragon? kind of want him to look a little bit mutated since he's going to have a dragon arm. But at the same time, this is a Final Fantasy boss that is a dragon. No, it's a lion. It's got a tiger head on its arm. Are you a half dragon if you have half of a dragon grafted to your body? That's the real question. How much dragon do you need before you're half dragon? What prompt is this? It says artificial creation that is have man with a dragon for an arm. I think is the. I was watching Pirate Software play Tunic, and yeah, they had a moment of, but why though? And I feel like that is kind of indicative of whatever this is. It's just like, yeah, cool stuff is happening. This guy's got a dragon for an arm, but why though? 30%? Oh, 30% dragon. 30% dragon makes you a half dragon. Witness me. Godric's got like Fury Road vibes real hard. If you had a dragon for an arm, would you need a weapon? I feel like it's kind of superfluous at that point. Faith spiked cestus. Yeah, those are pretty good. Strength and faith, that's all you need. was one boss that's like really, really resistant to faith. I remember that screwing me up. Love Tunic. I get happy every time it's mentioned. It's good. Seems like a really good game. I probably won't play it, but like I'm glad I'm watching somebody play it. Okay. I think I'm going to call it there. My brain is running out of steam. We'll be back on Friday. Friday we'll do another viewer suggestion. We'll keep the same list, so if your stuff did not get drawn today, we'll keep it right there, and we will try to draw it on Friday. We got through a pretty good chunk of the list, though, so that's good. Yeah. Elliot, welcome in. How goes the drawing? Pretty good. I'm a little spent. Did not get a lot of sleep last night, so I think we're probably going to call it there. We'll be back Friday. No. Tomorrow I might stream on Twitch, depending on what Final Fantasy does. I might do a little gaming in the morning, and then we'll finish up some art tomorrow afternoon. I have a few little projects going on. I got to work on the bug project. Sorry I got sick. It looks like I missed most of the day. Oh, sorry to hear that, Elliot. I hope you're feeling better. This Friday? Yeah, every Wednesday and Friday. Every Wednesday and Friday we do the live stream. So this Friday, was there something weird going on this Friday that I should know about? Let me look at the screen. It's every Wednesday and Friday, so we might be gone. Nope. Well, I might be gone next week. Next week we might be taking off because it's 4th of July. But I'll probably do next week and Wednesday as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see if there's anybody around to raid real quick, and then we'll call it a day. Maybe we'll call it a day. Search for videos. No, search for people who are online that I know. Hey, Indestructible Boy's hanging around. Let's go check them out. Vagabond. Thanks again. Thanks for the suggestions. And we'll be back at 11 o'clock on Friday. So stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table. We'll catch everybody later. Bye, everyone.